Last lesson, we studied this topic about fiqh, where the question can be asked: if there is one Quran and one Nabi, one Prophet we follow, then what is the need for different madhahib? Why are there different school of thoughts, different imams we follow? Everyone should be following one Nabi, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one Quran. There's no need of difference of opinions. So then we did this dialogue of Sheikh Muhammad Awama and his student. The summary was, did Allah not know the differences will occur? So when you say we should have one madhab, one way of following, then this is what Allah would have decided. Allah would have known, Allah put in the Quran certain verses, and Allah would have made it clear cut for no one to have a difference of opinion. But that is not how it works. And if there were anyone, any group of people, if not differing was something really good and we should not differ, then the best of people would not have differed. And who are the best of people after the prophets? Who are the best of people? The Sahaba radiallahu anhum. So if it was something really, really good, then the best of people, Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they would not have differed. And differences occur because of differences of evidences, and also how people analyze and think through these evidences. So you have a hadith, a Quranic text, and someone, the way they think, they analyze this Quranic text, this hadith, this sunnah, and because our minds, our thinking differ, then you come up with a different opinion. For example, you have medications. You have someone has a migraine, a stomachache, then there are different doctors who prescribe different medications. And why? Because they think differently. Their analysis, their research was a bit different, and their thinking is different. You come to a different conclusion. So it's not that everyone's wrong, it's how they think and the conclusion of the research. So we did some example from the Quran, how some Sahaba differed because of the verse. And in the end, the conclusion was Allah would have known the Sahaba differed. Sahaba radiallahu anhum were going to differ. But Allah did not want that to occur between the Sahaba, between the best of the people after the prophets alayhimus salam, then Allah would have made it clear cut. Right? But this is not how it works. There. I asked him, did the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and those who followed them, the believer, he spoke to him and explained to him, these differences we have, they are not what? Fundamental differences. They are minor differences. And people think differently, come to different conclusions, different analysis, but it's not fundamentals for you to be concerned with regards to, right? And then he understood, and then he came back to Islam again. So we moved on from this section. Here, I want to discuss this here. So these differences of opinion, what does Ibn Qudama, a scholar, great scholar from the Hanbali madhab. So 4 school of thoughts, the Hanafi school of thought, main Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Then you have the Maliki school of thought, their main Imam, the leader, Imam Malik rahimahullah. Then you have the Shafi'i school of thought, their Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. And then you have the Hanbali madhab, their Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal rahimahullah. All were great, great scholars, and they had great knowledge with regards to Quran and Hadith, and the knowledge with regards to the actions of Sahaba. So a great scholar called Ibn Qudama, here Allama Awwam rahimahullah says, in fact, these differences were considered a mercy from Allah Ta'ala. Ibn Qudama al-Hanbali rahimahullah writes, he was a great scholar, Imam Ibn Qudama. He was like, from the madhab, Hanbali madhab, one of the early references. So when you talk about, let's go and see what this Sheikh says from the Hanbali school of thought, one of the greatest scholars you can go back to from the early scholars of Hanabila is Ibn Qudama. He's a great scholar. Ibn Qudama al-Hanbali, rahimahullah, he writes, Allah, through His mercy and bounty, created great imams amongst the predecessors in this ummah, whom He utilized to arrange the fundamentals of Islam. So Allah used the imams. The imams are the ones who gathered the fundamentals, put it into order in a system, and people followed them because it was well accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah used them to utilize them to arrange the fundamentals of Islam, and through them He elucidated the intricate laws. Right through them, Allah put all these laws, Allah made it very clear. The laws were clear as it is. Allah made it even more clear to the ummah, to the people, to us, by using these imams as guides for us. Their, meaning the imams, their consensus is irrefutable evidence. When they come together and agree on a certain mas'ala, when all four of them agree, it becomes called a consensus. That's irrefutable evidence. Imam Ibn Qudama, one of the greatest Hanbali scholars, one of the greatest scholars of the four madhabs, he says when they gather and say an opinion, this is permissible, this is not permissible, this is the sunnah way, then that evidence, their opinion, when it's all the same, it's irrefutable evidence. You cannot negate this evidence. While, and there are some people who, the four imams will say something and agree upon something, and they will still dislike it, disagree. Some people will do this and they will not be content. Whereas this imam is saying, the four imams, they've agreed on something, it's irrefutable, you cannot refute it, you cannot go against it. While their disagreement is the extreme mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they disagree, he has a different opinion, this imam has a different opinion. When they disagree, this Imam Ibn Qudama is saying, it's a mercy of Allah. He's saying this is not something really wrong within us, that it's wrong to disagree, this is very bad, this is evil. No, he is saying disagreeing, imams disagreeing is the extreme mercy of Allah Ta'ala. Hearts are revived by their incidents, and success is reached by treading their footsteps. So if you listen to their incidents, their knowledge, how they would think, right, hearts are revived. People get extremely happy when you follow their knowledge, when you read about them and read regarding some of the things they have shared with their students and how they came to a conclusion by going through this process of thinking, analyzing, discussing with their students. And success is reached. How do you reach success? By treading their footsteps. You want to gain success? This great Imam Ibn Qudama is saying, you follow them, follow their footsteps. You'll gain success. Okay? This is a great Imam, by the way, Imam Ibn Qudama from the Hanbali madhab. Anyone from the Hanbali madhab, you ask them, Ibn Qudama? Of course they know Ibn Qudama. And if someone doesn't know Ibn Qudama from the Hanbali madhab and does not accept him as a great, great scholar, clearly is not a person who is following the Hanbali madhab correctly. Then you have Imam Ibn Abdul Barr. Who was Imam Ibn Abdul Barr? He was from the early scholars of the Maliki scholars. Imam Hafiz was a Hafiz. Who's a Hafiz? A Hafiz at that time, the laqab, that title is given to someone who has memorized about 100,000 ahadith, sayings and actions of the Prophet ﷺ with the chain of narration, okay? So your memory has to be quite extreme. And he has memorized so much, and of course he's a person, knowledgeable scholar who understood it also. And he says, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who was a great leader of Islam in the early times, and Qasim ibn Muhammad rahimahumullah were once discussing a hadith. Whenever Umar disagreed with Qasim rahimahumullah, Qasim's dislike would become apparent. So they would differ, then Imam Qasim, he would get a bit angry, he would dislike when Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah would go against it, would not approve it. Then Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah said to him, don't do that. I am not prepared to receive red camels in exchange for their differences. But that means the Sahaba's differences. Don't do this. Don't dislike it. If I'm disagreeing to something, you say it's fine and I say it's not fine, or vice versa, or you say this is Sunnah, I say no, this is Sunnah, it's different. Don't get upset with me. Don't get angry with me. This happens today. When we follow a Sunnah, when we do a certain action, and other people do a different action, we follow some scholars, they follow some scholars, it's different. Some people get angry over this. Here, a great scholar, a great leader of Islam, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah, he's saying, don't get angry. Why should you not get angry? Because this is an opinion of the Sahaba, opinion of the companions of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's their opinion. I'm following theirs, so don't get angry over it. And I'd rather follow an opinion and follow them, even if they had differences, than just following whatever you're telling me to do. And I'd rather do this than receiving red camels. Red camels, equivalent to, like, you can say, red Ferraris. In our time, Ferraris are really expensive, Lamborghinis, really expensive. You can give me a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, but I'm not going to just follow you just like that and leave the opinion of the Sahaba. Understood? So someone's following something, they're following their teacher, they're following ulama, they're following the Sahaba. So don't argue with them. Leave them to it. In Sunan ad-Darimi, it is reported that Hyde at-Ta'wil once said to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah, it will be a commendable deed for you to unite the people on one thing. So unite everyone on one thing. Everyone follow the same thing. He replied, I would not be pleased by them not having differed. So I would not be pleased with this. Everyone follow the same thing, same way, praying namaz, zakah, hajj, umrah, everything the same way. I would not be happy with them if they don't differ. After that, he wrote to the governors of the different regions, said each community should pass judgment in accordance with the unanimous ruling of its fuqaha. Everyone, all the community, all the people of the town, you follow your fuqaha, your scholars, what they have said. Even if it's different, don't all follow what we follow in here. Right? In Medina, Makkah, what we follow, you don't need to follow this. Your town, you had different scholars, you have scholars who differed, had different opinions, follow them. Even if it's different, follow them. So these are great scholars. The reason we're mentioning these incidents to understand that these are great scholars, great leaders who had this opinion. Differing is having the difference of opinion of is fine to differ. And then another incident, which is really, really interesting also. Okay? And that's why this book is really, really good. The scholar, the Imam, he's gathered many beautiful incidents and stories. And that is why, myself, I gave this context ages ago, in the first lesson, first discussion. And I said, I read many, many books on following one Imam, following a madhab. And there's many books to, tell us about the madhahib, why one can follow a madhab, a school of thought, and evidences and reasoning behind that. So I've read many books, but this book I came across, Who Are the Blind Followers, this by this Maulana who lives in Medina. May Allah Ta'ala protect him and give him healthy long life. Say Ameen. So when I came across this book, and it was beautiful. The points he makes, the incidents he puts, is just perfect for you to know. And even if no one comes and just me and Mona come outside here, although we sit down together for hours in morning lessons, and he's here and we just discuss this book, that is fine. And if we will benefit. If others come and listen to it, they'll benefit so much also. So these incidents show us that even the early scholars said it is fine to differ. You can have a different opinion. I can follow one Sahabi, you can follow another Sahabi. It is fine. Their opinion was that it was fine. It is fine to do this because even the Sahaba did this. And people think it is really bad. Oh, no, follow my way. This is the Sunnah way. Yours is not the Sunnah way. That wasn't the way of the Salaf, the early scholars. Still more astonishing than that is the fact that Imam Malik, rahimahullah, was granted the opportunity by the Khalifa of his time to unite the Ummah upon his madhab but he refused. So Imam Malik, he knows about the Hanafi school of thought, Hanafi madhab. Imam Shafi'i, so then Imam Malik, he had his students. He didn't follow the Hanafi way, although Hanafi madhab was there. Imam Abu Hanifa and his students were there. He had different opinions he followed. Okay, he had different ahadith he followed. So when he was told, you know what, the leader of the Muslims said, all those people who differ, they have different imams they follow, different madhabs. What I can do, I've got a good idea. Because you're doing these lessons and you're telling us this is the Sunnah way, right? This is in the books. This is the opinion of the Sahaba. Let's gather then everyone and tell everyone to follow your way. You're saying this is Sunnah. This I'm not sure about if it's Sunnah or not. This is the opinion. I'm not sure about this opinion. Let's gather everyone upon what you're saying is Sunnah. What you're saying is, the way. This, follow these opinions of yours. What did he say? He refused. He said, no. Not everyone follows the same thing. No, it can't happen. Why? He himself relates. The Caliph Abu Ja'far al-Mansur said to me, I intend to create unity, unite everyone in this knowledge by doing away with the differences. Get rid of these differences. Follow the Maliki madhab. I thus desire to write to the various commanders of the armies and to the judges to practice upon it only. Everything you gathered, your opinions, share it, and everyone follows this. All the judges give fatwa on this. This is the way, this is the Sunnah way, and everyone follows this. No one differs. And whoever opposes it will be beheaded. And then everyone goes against the leader because he's the leader. Everyone follows the leader. You don't follow the leader of the Muslims, you're going to be in big trouble. He said, I'll behead them. They're not following the Sunnah way, your opinion. If they don't follow it, let's behead them. I said to him, O leader of the believers, verily Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to be amongst his followers. When he would dispatch detachments, some small armies, and at times he would go out himself as well. During his era, not many lands were conquered. Then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu succeeded him. And the condition was very similar during his period, meaning, we didn't conquer many lands yet. Thereafter, Umar radiallahu anhu took the reins, and Allah subjugated many lands on his hands. He found no alternative but to delegate the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to various regions as teachers. He then spread so many Sahaba. So you go there, teach them. You go here, teach them. And he spread the Sahaba around to teach the people Sunnah. People continued to learn from them and pass their knowledge over to their descendants up to this day. Then they spread knowledge. Sahaba had students who taught others, and knowledge spread far and wide. If you attempt to shift them from this knowledge that they possess to what they don't know, they will consider it as kufr, disbelief. You tell them, don't follow this, because who did they follow it from? From the teachers, from the Sahaba, who learned it from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now all of a sudden you come and say, no, don't follow this. Don't follow this, your teachers who follow the Sahaba. No. Follow this. Their iman, their belief will become weak. They will think this is not Islam. We got taught directly by the Sahaba or the teachers, and then who were the students of the Sahaba, and now this person is telling us to do something different. So they'll have doubts now. Rather, reinforce every region with its own knowledge and take this knowledge for yourself. Let them follow their own knowledge, own scholars, own opinions, okay, which they gathered. And you want to follow this one here, my teachings, this book here, feel free to do so. But don't enforce it on others. So this is a great Imam Malik saying. And sometimes you'll have some people try to force their opinions on our throats. This wasn't the way of the early scholars, the Salaf. So Mansur remarked, that's improbable. Record it for my son Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad will learn from it. But I'm not going to actually force everyone and force it down the throats of others. So the great Imam Malik is not even forcing his madhab upon others, and he's saying people will start having kufr. People will start disbelieving in Allah if you start forcing others to one opinion. Okay, they'll feel this discomfort, and sometimes this can happen. Someone follow something, and I'll tell you why this discomfort thing and this disbelief thing actually is that when people follow a madhab, a methodology, a set of scholars, so then they restrain themselves following this, these masail, these principles, these rules, right? So they follow, they've been following for many years, and they follow, of course, scholars who have documented this ruling in their books, which has been followed for many years, right up to the Sahaba, okay? All of a sudden you come and you tell them, no, don't blindly follow. Don't follow, open your mind. You're a very knowledgeable person. Don't just follow what's there. Even though it's been followed for many, many years, for centuries, okay? Scholars have followed for centuries, and of course research was done, and it's based on evidence, of course. So now this person, he's been fed information, and now he feels, now he's in doubt. He's in doubt. I'm being told that this thing I'm following, this madhab I'm following, it's not the correct way. Follow something different. So now he starts following this. This friend says, no, this is the sunnah way. Another friend says, this is also the sunnah way. It's different to what you're doing now. Now he starts following all this, and he comes out from this kind of bubble he was in, comfort he was in, right? He comes out and he follows this opinion and that opinion, and then he follows, and then he's just following this friend and that friend, this opinion, that opinion, and then day after day he's losing confidence in what he was following before, the scholars he was following before, the books of early scholars he was following before. He's losing confidence, and now he's following this friend, this clip, that clip, right? And now he's in doubt. And do you know what it leads to also? A lot of people then start just, when they want to follow something, they don't follow any scholars. They won't now ask those teachers or refer to reliable books. Now they rely to Mufti Google, Sheikh Google. And they'll ask, oh, Sheikh Google, tell me, is this permissible, not permissible? Now they're not following anyone, no scholar, no reliable book. They're just following this person and that person, and they're in great doubt now. And some people, because of this great confusion, following anything and everything, and right, and they just then start following their desires. Their desires say, oh yeah, I've seen one thing on the internet, it's fine now. Even though, say, all four imams said it's not fine. And then people start following their desires, and some people also come out of the fold of Islam thinking, no, it's all a joke. Let me leave and let me follow just other thing outside religion. So once they start following anything and everything, then they follow things even outside of Islam, have doubts, and then leave Islam. May Allah protect us. Before just going here to the next chapter of, can all four schools of jurisprudence be correct concurrently? Altogether, can all four be correct? If we're in Shafi, Maliki, Hanbali, Hanafi, so you're saying all of them are correct. Can all four be correct? It'll be very interesting. But then, before that also, I wanted to read this footnote, which we'll inshallah do next week, about how do you decide which one is the strongest opinion. It's a really interesting footnote. We'll discuss this next time, and then we'll discuss in terms of, can all four schools of thought be correct? Is any of them incorrect, etc. That'll be very interesting. And then they will go into how can we be certain about the credibility of these four imams. Talk about the four imams. Who said they are reliable? Who said they were great scholars? Talk us about them. And then they will talk about the great four imams, which will be really interesting also. So we'll leave it here. Inshallah, all of us, Allah Ta'ala gives the tawfiq to benefit of what we have studied. Give us this confidence of, relying on our scholars, previous scholars, respecting them, honoring them, their path towards knowledge and how much effort they put in. Allah Ta'ala give us this kind of acceptance, so we accept the hard work, right? And we follow their footsteps also, because it wasn't easy to just gain knowledge back in the days. The effort, hard work they had to put through, it was immense. And Allah Ta'ala accepted the efforts for many centuries, okay? And may Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq also to follow them, follow their footsteps, and also gain as much knowledge as we can from reliable sources, okay? Not follow anything and everything. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا حلالا طيبا وعملا متقبلا صالحا وشفاء من كل داء. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.